Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nadia Ismail, wedding and portrait photographer based in Brunei Darussalam. This channel is all about photography, creativity, and also productivity. If you like these topics, make sure to click the subscribe button below because I will be posting new videos every single week. If you are into photography and you have been wondering how to get sharp images every single time, then I think you might want to stick around till the end of the video because I will be sharing with you 7 tips how to get sharp photos every single time. Tip number 1 is make sure that your shutter speed is 1 stop faster than your focal length. Before you start shooting, make sure that you know what focal length that you are using. Let's say you are photographing at 50mm. So the minimum shutter speed that you need to use is at least 1/60. But that's the case if you are using a full frame camera body. What if you are using a crop body then? First, know the crop factor of your camera. Let's just say that your camera's crop factor is at 1.6 and you are using 50mm lens. So multiply the crop factor of your camera body with the focal length that you are using. For example, 1.6 times 50mm, it's 80mm. Hence, you need to make sure that your shutter speed is 1 stop faster than the 80mm focal length. So the minimum shutter speed for this is 1/100. Second tip is to understand your subject's movement. Again, before you start shooting, understand who your subject is, what your subject is, and is your subject moving. If they are not moving, then just follow the first tip. But if they are moving, for example, you want to photograph people walking or people running, or a moving car, or people doing sports, then you need to speed up your shutter to keep up with the subject. When you are photographing people and it's not really moving really fast, for example, like me talking to the camera, I'm moving, but I'm not really moving fast. I'm moving at a normal speed. So the good rule of thumb is to use shutter speed of 1/125. But if you are planning to photograph a kid running, or you want to photograph your pet who is constantly moving, then you just need to increase that shutter speed a little bit more. For example, 1/200. And if you are planning to photograph people doing sports or moving cars, for example, then you might want to increase your shutter speed a little bit more, maybe 1/320 or 1/400, 1/500, depending on their speed. It's really simple. You just start at the lowest level, 1/125, and then if it's still fast, you just have to increase it and increase it. The point is to understand your subject's movement and try to keep up with that. The next tip is to hold your camera properly. Keep your elbows tucked in and then use your left hand to support your camera. This is a very basic rule and I'm sure you already know about this, but just in case you don't, then yeah, hold your camera correctly. The next tip is to rest your camera on stable surface. What if you can't keep your camera steady and you just can't increase the shutter speed? For example, you are planning to photograph moving water or light trail, so you cannot increase the shutter speed because you want to have that movement. Then you guessed it, use a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, then just find anything stable so that you can put your camera on that stable surface. For example, a table or a rock or a piece of wood. So just find anything in the environment, get creative. I'm sure you can find something to put your camera on. The 5th tip is to use single focus point. This means that your camera is going to focus on one point only. This is especially helpful when you are photographing portraits. You want to make sure that your focus is exactly on the eye, not the nose, not the chin, and all you have to do is move the focus point exactly on the eye and voila, a sharp looking portrait. The next tip is using manual focus. In the previous tip, we are using the autofocus to nail sharp focus. But then what happens when you are photographing in low light condition and your camera is struggling to find exactly where to focus on? This is when you turn off the autofocus and then manually just find the spot that you want to focus on. The next step is to know your lens. Every lens is different. Some lenses are sharp even if you are using it it at its widest aperture, but some lenses it's not going to be sharp if you use it at the widest aperture. So you need to stop down a little bit and find the sweet spot where the lens is super sharp. So watch or read reviews about your lenses and just try and test it using your own lens. For example, when I am shooting with this lens, the 35 1.4, it is sharp at 1.4, so I don't find any problem to shoot wide open with this lens. But if I am using this lens, which is the 18 to 55 f2.8 to f4, although it can be open at 2.8, but it's usually soft at 2.8. So whenever I am using this lens, I try as much as I can to just top it down to f4. Basically, these are the 7 tips that will help you get sharp image every single time. First, understand the focal length. Second, keep up with your subject's movement. Third, hold your camera correctly. Fourth, put your camera on a stable surface or just use a tripod. Fifth, use single focus point. Sixth, use manual focus when it's hard to find focus. And the last one is to know your lenses. That's it. If you think this video is helpful, make sure to click the like button, comment if you have something to say, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.